Right then, so welcome to another episode of the Tempest Rising podcast. This week is a little bit different because I'm experimenting with recording this live, which means that you're going to be able to listen to it on SoundCloud and iTunes as always, but you'll also be able to watch along with it, ask questions on the live Facebook video, and it'll also be up on the IGTV page. So depending on how this goes, if the technology works and I don't break Facebook or something, then we'll make this a weekly thing. So today's topic, busy. Everybody is busy nowadays. Anybody that you ask them how they are, chances are they're going to say busy. And I'm guilty of it too. It's almost as if busyness is something to be proud of. It's become a badge of honor, being stressed out, being exhausted, being overworked. It's something to be proud of. But that demonstrates an incredible level of ignorance, because the reality is living busy isn't really living. When you're busy, you miss out on the little things. You become disconnected with both your surroundings and your social connections. Every day becomes a frantic race to do as much as possible before going to bed and ending up sleeping badly, because your brain is so wired and so stuck in survival mode that you can't actually switch off and recover. When you're in survival mode, your brain waves are high, stress hormones are flooding your body, your digestive system starts to slow down, your energy levels drop, everything starts to shut down, including certain areas of your brain. Your brain is literally affected by your stress. And that obviously has huge implications for what you're actually able to achieve day to day. Now, your stress response is there to keep you alive, to respond to a perceived threat. But these systems are so primal and archaic that they don't know the difference between you being chased by a lion or you missing a work deadline. To your body, stress is stress, which is damaging for us as human beings. So we end up turning to things that give us a temporary relief from the stress, things that switch the state. Eating, drinking, drugs, over-exercising for some people. Whatever it is that makes you feel better and gives you that momentary release from the stress. But then it's over, and then the whole frantic process starts again. But what if we just stopped? If we slowed down and we created some space? When you do that, things start to shift and the brain starts to change. Your creativity begins to flow. You start to feel connected to your body again. Your energy levels increase. You begin to notice the world around you. It's like your senses wake up and you start to feel alive again. I know for me that I have a terrible habit of going at 100 miles an hour on an empty tank, trying to do a million things at once. And there's nothing worse, because everything suffers. My creativity goes out the window. My problem-solving skills become non-existent. My emotions go all over the place. I've physically become very clumsy. And it just serves to exacerbate the issue, because then I'm trying even harder to make things better and stressing about things being so shit. And it has that knock-on effect. Anxiety levels rise, inflammation in the body increases, you become more likely to get ill, your motivation drops, and then the basics of self-care, such as eating well and exercising, stop completely because you just don't want to. I mean, why would you want to when you feel so terrible? But when you stop, and eventually you will stop because your body will force you to stop, and you find some space, you realign, things start to flow again. It's like a river, it flows without any effort. You can't force it to go any faster. It just finds a space and it flows into it using momentum. It's never hurried and it's never rushed by the external world. So what does that mean to you? It means that busyness is actually part of your problem. And I'm not saying don't do anything. I'm definitely not permitting you to be lazy, because effort is everything and hard work and action are the only way to get what you want. But doing too much takes away from the things that matter and it disrupts the flow. So learning when and how to rest effectively is a skill, and it's one that most of us are lacking, especially in today's mindset of go faster, do more, get as much done as you can day to day. We've lost sight of the value in actually slowing down. For me, if I slow down, my production rate speeds up because I'm not so frantic and I can focus on what I'm doing and I can work methodically instead of bouncing around from one thing to the next. I'm clear, I'm creative, I know what needs to be done. It's like that level of brain fog lifts and the internal feeling of complete frazzledness disappears, and my desire to snap at anyone that tries to interrupt me disappears, and other things start to happen. I become more open, more receptive. And the same will be true for you as well, in the same sense, if you learn to slow down. So a few things that you can actually do to stop being so busy. Number one, find what actually matters and focus on that. Multitasking is the last thing you need to be doing. So go through your diary, your calendar, your planner, your to-do list, whatever it is you actually use to plan your life, and find the things that don't need to be done right now, or the things that you hate doing, and highlight them, and then find a way to either delegate them to somebody else or put them off for another time. The second thing you can do is just take some time out and just get some space. Go outside and go for a walk. But when you're doing this, do it without music, without podcasts, anything like that. Just look around, smell what the air smells like, sit in the grass, just feel and experience what it's like to be outside and away from everything else, and just be aware. The third thing that you can do is meditate. And I think this is the best thing for creating space and getting out of survival mode. Whether that is a basic body scan or something a bit more advanced, I think everybody should be doing some form of meditation. And I'm going to throw a link in the comments so you can download my body scan guide and get started with the basics for people that have never done it before. So as a call to action today, I want you to pick one of those three things. So streamlining the diary, going for a mindful walk, and meditating. Pick one and then just do it. And begin to create a new daily habit around this, creating that little bit of space, creating that time for yourself so that you are shifting away from survival mode and into a more natural flow of things. Because it's not natural to be chronically stressed. From time to time, it's going to happen, and it can even be beneficial, but not every day, especially when it prevents you from making progress, and the results are nothing more than busyness or destructive coping mechanisms. Busyness doesn't mean progress. Busyness is an obstacle to success. So we've got to learn to work around it. We have to build the skill of resting and recovering, because the answer isn't doing more. It's about doing less, but doing it better. So try one of the suggestions that we've just discussed. Do it daily for at least a week, if not 2, and let me know how you get on. And that's going to be all for this week. Obviously, the live video is there now. It's already up. As soon as I click the end button, that's going to be there for you. The podcast audio will be uploaded immediately after, so that's going to be up on SoundCloud and iTunes, along with the show notes over on 𝐂𝐻𝐿𝐻𝐶.com in the blog section, and there will also be the IGTV video at some point today. So if you have any suggestions, or there are things you'd like me to cover, things that maybe you're struggling with, just drop me a private message or leave a comment below and I will get it covered in another episode. I'm going to be back next week. So until then, try one of these things and let me know how you get on.